What is going on, guys? This is KNasty3090 here. Welcome to a start of a new franchise, probably one of my favorite franchises that we do. It's the Moneyball franchise. Now, I will go over the rules of this franchise. It is a franchise challenge, so we're going to pick the A's. I wasn't going to pick them because they actually are halfway decent. I was going to pick a worse team, but if we're doing Moneyball, you have to be the A's. So, we are going to tear down the A's, though, so it's going to happen. So, let's just get this all set. And I normally have injuries on. We're going to have injuries off because this is going to be hard enough as is. So, let's get our settings all set. If you guys want to see this, I always put these all in manual except for scouting. This is something people always ask me, so I do want to show you how we kind of make these. And then, obviously, I think injuries are already off, but I am going to double check. You go to General, then hit Advance. Injuries are off. Perfect. So, with this franchise here, there's only one rule. Our budget. You see on the top where it says 95 million? Nope. It's 25 million. For the whole entire team, $25 million is our budget. That includes all minor leaguers. I don't think it counts as coaches. So this episode is basically building the team. Because Chris Davis is making 16 million. Soria's making 6.9. Piscott, yeah, all these guys are making too much. Usually, I know last year we could have one or two guys make a couple mil. So yeah, let's go make some trades and try to find some cheap, great players. Alright, so first trade I'm going to do, we're going to trade a couple players. We're going to get rid of Jerkson Profar, making 3.6 million. Not a bad player, but I actually like the fact he can play everywhere, but he's just too expensive. We're also going to trade Marcus Semien, making $6 million. Again, not a bad player, just too expensive. And then I am trading Joel Cotton, mostly because we can't have minor leaguers making $500,000 unless they're a big-time prospect. And I'm getting two guys, though, who can definitely help us out. Severino's going to be our catcher. I like the fact he has a solid arm in terms of strength, really good accuracy, good defense, some pop. He's only making $500,000. That's not too bad. And then also Trey Mancini. We're going to need some outfield help. Mancini's got only a one-year deal, so this is really just like a one-year thing. Luckily, what happens is in the off-season, we can go over a $25 million budget to kind of work around and make trades. For instance, I could sign Mancini to a long-term deal and then trade him to get someone else. We won't just let him walk. So I think this is a great deal. We get an outfielder, we get a catcher, and we just basically get rid of a starting pitching prospect and dump some salary. So good start. Now, one thing I did also notice, Matt Olson's making next to nothing, $500,000. That's great. And Matt Chapman's making next to nothing, $500,000 as well. So first and third base, at least for right now, are all set. And then Barreto at second base, I don't think he's ready. So we do want to get a second baseman. So let's go find a second baseman. All right, I found my second baseman. It's Michael Chavis. Now the thing about him, he's making $600,000 this year, but his contract is renewable for the next 2 years. He's not arbitration for 3 full years. So that's probably when we're going to have to let players go, when they start getting towards arbitration, unless we lock them up to a long-term deal and we kind of backload those contracts. That's what I'm going to do a lot in this, is backloading contracts. But the thing with him, he has some pop. I think the bat can play, and at second base, the fielding isn't great, but I don't really value that much fielding at second base. So we're giving up Joaquin Soria, which is $6.9 million. That's a pretty nice salary. We're giving up Sean Manaea, who is an A potential. He's making $3.2 million. We can't keep him around for making that much, being only a 74 overall. And then Barreto, our second baseman. So that clears up about $10 million in payroll. And we got ourselves a second baseman. So we have our catcher, we have our first baseman, we have our second baseman, we have our third baseman. We don't have a shortstop, so let's go find a cheap shortstop now. Alright, I found our shortstop, Adalberto Mondesi. I feel like we don't have a lot of speed, so he's going to be a great guy who can run for us. He can play some good defense. He is probably like a 1 or 2 year player for us. We are giving up a good player though in Blake Treinen, our closer, but he's making $6.4 million, way too much for us. And I am doing a salary dump with a couple backup catchers who are making a total of $2.4 million. So in this deal, we save $8 million, and we get ourselves a pretty good shortstop in the deal as well. Now I'm getting ourselves a DH. I'm trading Piscott, who's making $6.5 million. I'm getting a player who's making $1.5 in Jose Martinez. You see by that fielding of 40, he can't field, but he's going to be our DH. He can also play first and all three outfield if we need him to. He's making $1.5 and then $1.7 million the next year, which is a little pricey, but look at the hit tool. I just think he's going to be an amazing hitter for us. So yeah, he is a little pricey, but I think we can afford it, and that gives us our DH. Alright, so this is a little interesting trade I just found. I'm going to get Derek Rodriguez, the son of Pudge, who is only making $500,000, and he's got 2 more years after this year of pre-arbitration. So that's great, and he's an 81 overall. So I like that. We also get a reliever, Trevor Gott, who's only making $500,000. So he should be cheap as well. And we get Mike Yastrzemski. And you're like, why do I care that much about Mike Yastrzemski? He is making $30,000 this year. He is a great fourth outfielder for $30,000. Now, we are giving up Mike Fiers. I'm giving up Chad Pinder. And I am giving up Sean Murphy. But by doing that, we do have Severino. And we will continue to get prospects. That's one thing about this franchise. We always have to get rid of players when they get too expensive. And then I always get prospects back in trades. So we always can, even though right now we don't have a ton of prospects in our system, we will get more when we have to get rid of guys like Matt Chapman or Matt Olson or Chavis when they become too expensive. So I'm not too worried about trading prospects. But right here, that does shed $6 million in payroll, and it gives us a starter, a reliever, and a fourth outfielder pretty cheap. Alright, so I'm getting another outfielder. I am trading Chris Davis, who's making $16 million, obviously way too pricey. I am also trading Logan Davidson, one of our shortstop prospects. But what I'm getting back is Albert Almora Jr., who has great contact, not bad fielding, some speed. He can, not much power, but he can definitely play the outfield for us. And this is only like a 1-year thing with Almora because he's going to be arbitration this offseason, but I think he can help us this year. We are getting back Kinsler and Montgomery. They are higher contracts, but I had to do it to kind of get the money to work with Chris Davis's deal. I am going to trade those guys right now, but that right now clears up $8 million. It's going to really clear up about $16 million once I finish everything, and that gives us a pretty good outfield. So let's do that. Now, what is our budget looking like right now with everything? We're down to $49 million, but there are still some contracts to get rid of. So we have cut that down a lot. As you can see, next year we have $6 million on the team, and then the year after that is nothing. So now we still need to build a rotation. I think our lineup is pretty much all set. So Pedro Severino's our catcher, Olson's at first, Chavis at second, Chapman's at third, Mondesi's at short, Mancini, Laureano, Almora is our outfield, and Martinez is our DH. So that's not bad. Our rotation right now is Frankie Montas, Derek Rodriguez, Estrada's going to be traded. Megden, I think, is cheap enough, and Brett Anderson's too expensive. He's making 1.5. So we need to get one more starter. Bullpen's not bad, but I do want to maybe improve it a little bit. So let's go get that 5th starter and get some more bullpen help and shed some salary. Alright, so here's a salary dump for us. We are trading Liam Hendricks, who's actually a good reliever, is making $2.2 million, but that's just a little too pricey. We're trading Petit's $5 million and Montgomery's $2.4 million. In this trade, we're getting Luke Jackson, who's a closer. He's 27 years old, 78 overall. I want to see how he pitches for us. We're getting AJ Minter, who's a lefty. Now, he's only a 74 overall, but he's only making $500,000. And I'm getting this Carlos Martinez catcher, who's only making $50,000, just as like an organizational guy. $50,000 is a great price for a minor leaguer. So we do that. That sheds us over $8 million. We get 2 relievers. We are losing a good reliever in Hendricks, but we then also get an organizational catcher as well. So not too bad. So we do need a backup catcher. Right now our catching situation is just Severino. Now Herman is making $1 million. That's too much for how he's not that good. So I put him in a deal. Kinsler, who we got in the trade for the Chris Davis trade, and then Mark Kahn, who's making $2 million just as like a crappy outfielder. And I get Kevin Smith, who's making $500,000, but as a backup catcher. No, his fielding's not great, but he has good contact, good vision. That's not bad for a backup catcher. It's just a 1-year thing for him, but we do shed over about $7.5 million. And yeah, now let's take a look to see what our budget's now. We're probably in the 30s, maybe even the high 20s, $33 million. So we got a little bit more work to do, but we still have some contracts like Anderson, Estrada, Grossman, and we got a lot of minor leaguers making $500,000 that we just don't need, so I will get rid of those as well. But we're almost there. We're almost to the $25 million. All right, so I got our number 5 starter. He won't be our number 5, but it's a starter. Marco Gonzalez. He's making $900,000. Next year's contract will be renewable, so it'll be cheap as well. The thing about him, 83 walks per 9. We know walks per 9 is a very important stat, so I wanted him. Now we are trading AJ Puck. He's a B potential with these rosters. Now I am using the Operation Sports full minor rosters with the drafted players who were just drafted this past year. So like Rutschman from the Orioles is in this and whatnot, like Bobby Witt Jr. So those guys are in this draft. But I'm also including Estrada's $4 million contract and a prospect in Jorge Mateo. But like I said, I'm not too worried about trading prospects. We'll get some back. But that does clear up about $3.6 million, and it gives us our number 5 star. So now, continue to shed salary, say that 5 times fast, and get another bullpen armor too. Because right now we got Luke Jackson, Buchter, Gott, Trevino, Dole. I want to get one more 80-plus guy in the bullpen. All right, I found our bullpen arm, Adam Simber from the Indians. He's making $500,000 for $575, and we're trading Aaron Brooks, a prospect, 28 years old, not much of a prospect. Dustin Fowler, who's a prospect kind of at 24 years old. And we're trading Robbie Grossman and his $2 million salary. So that clears up about $2.5 million, and we get our bullpen arm. So now, let's take a look at our budget. We should be under 30 now. We're at 27, so we only have to clear up $2 million, and we can get rid of some minor leaguers who are making like all these guys making $500,000. Yeah, I will trade some that are just like this guy right here. We'll trade a bunch of them, get down to the 25 million, and then build the lineup in the rotation, see how everything's looking. All right, so here's a trade right here from the Padres. They are offering us a Rosario B potential, an 18-year-old outfielder making $50,000. I get rid of 3 bad contracts. So that saves us about $1.5 million right there. I'm going to do that one more time, get another prospect, and then I think we should be good. All right, so here we are. We're doing the same thing. We're getting Jake Rogers, a catcher, a prospect, B potential, only making $50,000. I think our budget is now, take a look, $24 million. And like we do have a couple guys making $1 million. We still have guys in the minor leagues who are making $500,000, but there's no point in trading them right now if we don't need to. I'll say this. If we want to add someone at the trade deadline, that's something we can do. So let's now, I guess just into the regular season. Actually, let's look at contract extensions. So how much could Matt Chapman? I can give him a 1-year deal next year. If I do, let's see, 1.5 million. I'm worth more, 1.7. I'll go to 2. I'll give him 2 million, not 2019, but 2020. The thing is, once I go to 2 years, it blows up in salary. So, I don't know. Matt Olson, can we do something with him? Okay, he only wants 1.5 next year. Let's try 1.4. Okay, 1.5. There we go. So, we now have Matt Olson for at least next year. Doesn't affect this year, as you can see. But if you scroll down to Matt Olson right here, he's making $500,000 this year. Next year's making 1.5. So, we know we have Matt Olson for at least one more year. So, which is nice to know. Let's continue looking at contract extensions. So Simber, how much could we do? Could we do with 3 years? Wait, let's do 4. Backload it. Bring that money down. Let's see if we can get this. There we go. Let's see what his contract looks now. So Adam Simber. So here we go, right here. Simber is making $500,000 this year, then 1.4, 1.6, 1.9, 2.1. He's an 84 overall. Now, if he continues to pitch well, that's worth it. Maybe not in 1.9 and 2.1, but if he becomes our closer, 1.4, 1.6 is fine. I mean, if you look right now, we are paying. We still have Brett Anderson's contract. Shoot, let me get rid of Brett Anderson. There's no point in having him on this team. We're actually going to save a little bit of money. We actually are way under it. Let's just get a prospect for him. I didn't even realize that. I thought I got rid of him. Can we get a B? If not, I'll just take a salary dump. Dom Nunez will take him. $50,000 back. Now our budget is at $22 million, and we can add someone for like $3 million if we want. Or we can kind of be smart with it and just wait. So let's see if we can do any other extensions. Ryan Buchter is 32 years old. He's making $1.4 million this year. Could we get him 2 years? Let's bring that money down. Let's backload it. Can we get... There we go. So Buchter next year should be cheap as well. Next year he goes to... So he's 1.4 this year, then 1.5 next year, and then 1.8. So again, not too bad. Maybe in 2021 he's 1.8. That might be too pricey, but that's $300,000. Let's go to Frankie Montes, who in real life is suspended for PEDs, but he's not in this, making $500,000. I can give him a 1 year. Let's see, how much can we bring that to? Let's do $750, but let's make him our ace. All right, I'll go up to 800,000. 820, 850. Nope, not gonna do it. All right, Trevor Gott, we'll figure it out in the offseason. He is making $500,000. What can we do for him? Next year, an extension for a 1-year extension for, I'll do $640. There we go. And we got him locked up. Just nice knowing we got these guys taken care of. Marco Gonzalez is making $900,000 this year. Next year, the year after that, he may only want, oh wow, I'll do 900 again. Perfect. 2 years with him at 900,000 is great. Adalberto Mondesi now. Could we maybe, he wants a little bit more money. I'll probably just wait on that. And the rest of these guys, there's no point in locking them up yet. Maybe, oh wow, Derek Rodriguez is pissed, but I think it's because he's in the bullpen, but that will change. Ooh, a 2-year deal at 900,000? That's backload it. 20 out of $1 million, but that's still very team friendly. Wow, our budget now is pretty solid for next year. Where is Derek Rodriguez? So, Derek Rodriguez next year is making $925, and the year after that is making $1 million. Let me scroll down. I'm blocking that. There you go. Derek Rodriguez, that's pretty good. Like, we have $8 million now locked up towards next year, but now let's go to the regular season. Build our, we don't really have to worry about our sponsorships right now. We got Rodriguez, Gonzalez, Montes, Megd. Who are these guys? Oh, I wanted Blackburn on the Major League team. That was one thing I forgot to mention. He's always like a glitch in franchise. So, Triggs as well. He'll be our long man. My boy Triggs. So, we're going to send down, let's see. So, a rotation of Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Montes, Megden, and Blackburn. Triggs is the long man. Gott, Simber, Trevino, Buchter. Dole is making how much money? 800,000. Verrett we're going to send down. And Wei Ching Wong will send down. Alright. And then we got Luke Jackson. 2 catchers. Matt Olson. Chavis. We got Chapman and Mikey White. He's a 58 overall. Let's send him to the minors. Sheldon Neusser I'd like to keep up. We might need to get a bench infielder. Mancini, Yastrzemski, Almora, Laureano, and Martinez. So we need to add 2 more players. A backup first baseman and a backup infielder. So we could do free agency, but that's probably going to pay too much for it. What are we at for first base? Pedro Alvarez would actually be a really good player if the money's right. 1.8 is way too much. So let me just go in the trade market, find a good backup first baseman and a good super utility guy. So I'm going to get Mark Reynolds as a backup first baseman. He can really hit. If we need to get like a home run off the bench in a big game, Mark Reynolds can give it to us. Can play first and third. We are giving up 3 C potentials. Dom Nunez, a catcher. Greg Dykman, a left fielder, and Bahara, a center fielder. All of them are C potential, so I'm not really losing too much. And we are taking on some money, but I'm going to get rid of some money too, because I forgot about something. We have AJ Minter, who's in the minors, so we don't need Ryan Dole. So let's just get rid of Ryan Dole, and I could either use him to get a prospect, or I can use him to get like a super utility guy. So I'm going to try to get the super utility guy, and then we should be all set. Alright, for some reason they would not take Ryan Dole in this trade. They say our injury situation forces us. So I got it though to work with Anthony Miller. He's making 30,000, which I didn't want to include. Actually, I'll put Seth Bryan. He's making 20,000 more. He's older. And Santos Sanchez, another catcher we have. He's a 55 overall. And we get Yogbana Solardi making 500,000, but he can play first, second, third, short, left, and right field. I like that. So let's get him. And now, before we go any further, might as well trade Ryan Dole. Clear up that money that we just took on. We can get a B potential. Dylan Tate, Acevedo. What else prospects are there? Blaine Ello? Okay. Nick Gardenwine? No. Dion Dietz? No. Braxton Garrett? Okay. Will Crow? There's some pitchers now I've heard of. I might take Will Crow. Cody Bolton. Jeffrey Ramirez. I'm leaning towards... Oh, Josiah Gray. I'm going to get... Where is he? Well, now he's 24. Let's get Braxton Garrett. It's only 20. And that saves us literally $810,000. And we get a prospect. So now our budget, probably still right around that 22, 23. 23. Because we did add Mark Reynolds' $1 million contract and the $500,000 deal for Solardi. So... You know, I want to make sure they're both on the Major League team, which I think neither of them are. There's Solardi. Oh, no, that's, you know who's not? Minter. Minter is not. So he's that lefty in the pen. So there we go. Now let's build up. Wait, do we have enough minor leaguers? Oh, yeah, we do. We have a lot of Class A. Okay. So let's put Blackburn in. and then put Minter in the bullpen. Our bullpen's actually quite full. But we got Triggs as a long man, so Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Frankie Montes, Megden, and Blackburn. Andrew Triggs is the long man. Buchter, Luke Jackson, AJ Minter. So we got 2 lefties. Simber, Trevino. Let's put Simber as a set man. And Gott. You know what? Since Simber is the guy that we're kind of putting money towards, let's give him a chance to close, shall we? That's not a bad bullpen. It's not great. Let's build this lineup out. So Mondesi, they have leading off. Almora, Jose Martin. Well, he's going to be the DH. No, who is sitting? Oh, Laureano is sitting. I want that defense, especially that arm. Martinez, Olsen, Chapman, Mancini, Chavis, Laureano, and Severino. So let me just change around the lineup a little bit, and then we'll see how everything looks. Alright, so I made the lineup. So we got Mondesi, then Jose Martinez. I want that guy hitting, batting second. Then Matt Olson, then Matt Chapman, then Mancini, then Almora, Chavis, Laureano, and Severino. That's an okay lineup, not great, but we got a 92 in Chapman, who we don't have him for next year yet, but I think we can keep him. Matt Olson, we did sign him to an extension for next year. So like I showed you earlier, a budget's at $23 million, so we're at where we need to be. Let's take a look at what we're ranked. So the Astros are first. We're 12. That's pretty impressive being ranked 12th with a $23 million payroll. Mariners are 23rd, Angels are 19th, and the Rangers are 25th. So Astros are going to be the team that we got to worry about in the division. Take a look at top prospects. We're not going to have many, if any. Oh, no, we have Chavis, who's going to graduate, so he's not really much of a prospect. Luzardo's in AA. He's at 21. He should shoot up once a lot of these guys graduate and become major leaguers, and that is it. So guys like Vlad, Tatis, Biggio, Eloy, Paddock, Senzel, Pete Alonso, Chavis, like these guys, once they're in the bigs, they don't become prospects. So Luzardo could be a top 10 pretty soon. So either we can use him or he can be a trade chip in the future. But that's going to be it for this video. Actually, before we go, I don't think having scouts affects your team money, which is kind of good. So let's get the best scouts we can afford, because that's going to be important for us too, is drafting and developing. There's Central. And can we improve West? We can. So there's our... That's not a bad... I mean, we got a great East scout. So there's our scouting. I don't really care about any sponsors, because it's literally... I'll do it. It doesn't... It's pointless with our our payroll, or it's not like we're going to have enough money anyway for that. But I like what we're going to be doing. So if you guys did enjoy this, please drop a like on the video. As always, subscribe if you are new for more episodes of this, and we'll see how we do. Hopefully we can continue to... Oh, we're not continuing. We can get off to a good start. And if we're not going to be a playoff team, well, maybe at the trade deadline, we'll try to sign some guys to extensions. If not, we'll dump them for some prospects or some good cheap players. So I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Talk to y'all later. Take it easy. Peace.